Welcome back. Today we are making a fun project, this X bench, from a few simple pieces of wood, some 4x4s and a wide plank of wood. We will also use some 4x4s for braces later on. So let's get started. This piece of wood measures about 36 inches long and it is going to be the top. I have 4x4s cut for the X legs and they measure 20 inches by 20 inches. And I have them laid out here. They are going to go on each end. I have them now on each end. I'm actually going to cut them at an angle. So let's go to the chop saw. I have my piece of wood, 20 inches long, a 4x2, and I have my angle set at 22.5 degrees. And so I'm going to indent about 1.5 inches here to get the right cut. So let's get cutting. And all finished. So that's the first cut, and we have the second one. And now we have to figure out the angle. And so we just use a little pencil, and we're going to cut a 45-degree angle to get the crisscross of the X. And so you can see I had to actually make my pencil mark twice, but better to measure twice than to cut and have to redo it. So there we're all done, and there's my first X. Looks great. Now I just have to screw them together after I do the second one. Now, when you're using the chop saw and the piece of wood is too small for where you don't want to put your hand that close to the saw, I am using a clamp and it works great. And just make sure you have it so it's not going to interfere with the saw, but also that it has something to hold onto. So, all done. Now, let's put it together. There's my X. Now, let's make the other X. I think it's looking good. I'm excited about this. This is actually my first time making an X bench, and so I'm kind of just going with the flow. I looked around online for a lot of instructions, and some of them suggested using a lap cut, so you cut halfway through and then halfway through the other wood, and then you glue them together and screw that. And that would have been a really good idea. Pocket screws would be a great idea. I couldn't, wanted to borrow one, but I couldn't get a hold of one. So I'm kind of winging it here today, but I have a solution that I think will work. And so to make sure our X's match, I'm going to lay them on top of each other. Then I drew the line and I'll make my cut here. And so here we go. I have both sides, both X's, looking great. I'm going to make pencil marks where exactly they'll go, so when I move the X's, it will be easier to find out exactly where they should go. I'm not sure that the 22.5 degree mark is going to be sufficient to prevent the bench from tipping over. So I had an idea. My daughter Addison gave me the idea. I had thought of it earlier but forgot about it. But anyhow, if I put a piece on the bottom that is longer than the X, and I'll show you here in a minute, that it will help it to prevent it from tipping. So I have the first X. I screwed on the side there, and then on the other side, and then I also have a cross piece. And it really should go all the way across both seams to protect it the most. I'm thinking now that maybe I should have done a wider piece and had 2 screws, 2 screws, and 2 screws on each section. That would probably be a little stronger. But this is my first X, and I have the piece on the bottom, and I've measured in the middle where that's going to go. So I found the middle of the wood. I indented 3 inches from each side. My piece on the bottom is 17 inches. And then I found the middle on the X. And so I'm just going to line that up. And then I will lay that down on the table. And I'm going to screw it on. And it looks like this. I'm super excited for this bench. think it looks cute. I'm not using like the highest quality of wood because I knew this would be my first try, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to do the greatest job, so I'm just using scrap wood on this project, but it looks great. Okay, so we're back to the top. Now, how do we attach these X legs on there? Well, I have it set here. It's not actually screwed, but I have some ideas. I'm realizing I need to actually put braces across because it just wasn't strong enough the way it was, and I was afraid if I screwed the top on the way it was that somebody would sit on the bench and it would go kersplat. And that would be a bad deal. It'd be really embarrassing. So I have these cross braces on the bottom. I'm going to screw in through the X to them with some 4-inch screws. And so here we go. You can see I have screwed in right there, and it's holding extra strong. I think that was a good idea. Then I went ahead and screwed in the top. You can see my pencil marks where I measured up on the top to make sure that I lined up the legs where they were supposed to. And so I think they, again, indented 3 inches on either side. And so it looks pretty good. In retrospect, I would have preferred to use pocket screws, and I probably should have just spent the money and went and bought some so I don't have that wood brace on the inside of the X, but I think it looks pretty good. So now let's set it up outside. I love the blue background, the white flowers, and it looks really pretty. I'm considering painting the legs white because the top and the legs are a slightly different color, but overall super happy with this project, and I hope you do it too. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me go from just a few pieces of wood to making an X and to a full complete bench. I had a lot of fun. I hope you try this project too. If you like stuff like this and like to DIY and design, feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any more of my videos. Bye-bye.